Good evening, welcome everybody. I hope you had a good holiday vacation. This week's Torah portion is Vayishlach. Vayishlach in the meaning of sending. In this Torah portion, Jacob is sending angels to Esav. That's how the Torah starts. The weekly Zohar classes that we have is to understand the cosmic energy that week is available for us, how we can improve our life, how we can elevate our consciousness to better week. And the Torah literally looks like all stories, but it's all in codes. And with the help of Zohar, with the help of Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and Arya Kadosh, we try to decode these secrets, these energies, so we can have a better week. In the past 2-3 Torah portions, and in the next 2-3 Torah portions, we are studying about Jacob, Yaakov, the patriarch. He's our forefather. We had Abraham, Yitzchak, and Jacob, Yaakov. And in this portion, I'm going to go really fast through the story of Yaakov. Yaakov had to run away from his brother. He swore to kill him. He ended up in his uncle's house in some negative country. He's married 2 wives, actually 4 wives. And he had 11 boys and 1 girl with a lot of wealth. And he's coming back to his father's house, to Isaac's house. He's coming back to Israel. But still, Esav swore to kill him, his own brother. And now, at this portion, he want to deal how to deal with this huge obstacle, huge challenge. We are not here to study the stories of the Torah. As we learned before, it's only stories. We want to know the lessons behind it, the secrets behind it. How does it benefit me? How I'm going to improve my life? What does it mean Yaakov sent angels? Vayishlach malachim. We're also going to talk tonight about this amazing sentence in the Torah that talks about Yaakov wrestling with God. It's very amazing. Up to last year, as many other students mentioned, we learn and they teach us that Yaakov was wrestling with the negative angel of Esav. But this year, for some reason, I opened the Torah and I saw that it was actually, the Torah says, Sarita im Elohim. Yaakov was wrestling with God. It's so amazing. Through the years, the more we study, the more we learn, the more we overcome our negative actions, negative thoughts, we start seeing more things in the Torah. That sentence would not exist for me last year, but for some reason I saw it this year. What does it mean that Jacob was wrestling with the God? It's so funny. I had a conversation with Nader. I told him, I saw this new sentence in the Torah. He says, only one sentence? He says, each time I look at the Torah, the whole Torah is new to me. So there is so many codes, so many secrets. So, and by us going through the process of the 1 year, learning and elevating our consciousness, like we said, going through the 12 months, 12 signs of astrology, going through 52 Shabbatot, going through the Moadim, going through the weekly study, our eyes opens. We start seeing more, not only in the Torah, in our life and other people's life. We start seeing the stories behind the stories. We start realizing that it's not a story that we are after, it's what's behind it. So who is Yaakov? What is Yaakov? Why we are learning about Yaakov? And eventually his name is become Israel, and we are called Bnei Israel. We are the children of Yaakov. So whatever Yaakov is, or whatever he's achieving or doing, it's a lesson for us. In Kabbalah, we learn that the right column is Avraham, the left column is Yitzchak. Avraham is all chesed, kindness, is to share. Isaac is the left column, is to receive. And Yaakov came to the central column to bring these two energies together. Yaakov stands for to receive in order to share. In the past classes, we learned the world cannot exist just by giving. The world cannot exist just by receiving. We need to build a world to receive in order to give, in order to share. So, and Yaakov is the only one that connects the physical world to the spiritual world. You see, the line of Yaakov goes all the way to the spiritual world. This is our goal. What does it mean in everyday life? You know, look at our country. It's a beautiful example. We have the left party and we have the right party. They're totally against each other. You know, when it comes to election, half of the map is red, half of the map is blue. They don't want to talk to each other, they don't want to negotiate with each other, they don't want to deal with each other, they don't want to sit with each other. If you look in our own house, you know, if you look within our businesses, within our families, there's always two opposite forces. There's two opposite ideas or consciousness. There's two opposite poles. Within our own mind, within our own consciousness. You know, we always have the yes and no. We always have the good and bad. There's always two poles. And Yaakov trying to teach us how to bring these two parties, how to bring these two opposites. Look at the man and a woman, totally opposite with each other. But somehow we have to find a way to live with each other. So the energy of Yaakov is not only one character in the Torah, is an energy force, is a consciousness, is a lesson. How we can bring these two opposites together, how we can live with each other, how we can live with ourselves, with this duality that there is within us. So, one of the most important sentences in Kabbalah is, in order to connect to blessings in life, is to recognize and overcome our negative behaviors. This is just what Frank told me before the class. I'm going to repeat. The most important formula that Yaakov teaches us through his life stories. He goes through the challenges with his parents, with his brother, his father-in-law. Everybody tried to cheat him, to take away his rights. But in order to connect to our blessings, we need to first recognize and then overcome our negative behavior, negative thoughts, consciousness, negative lifestyle that we have. That's the lesson of Yaakov, how to bring these two opposites together within ourselves and in the outside world is only by me correcting myself, recognizing what's bad in me, recognizing what's wrong with my attitude, with my consciousness, overcome it, then I'm going to be able to first bring the peace and harmony within myself and then to the world. By the way, as Bnei Israel, as the children of Yaakov, we are responsible to bring this harmony and peace to the whole world. But first we have to bring it to ourselves in order to bring it to others. Are we within the 10 minutes? So we're going to say thank you to the Facebook viewers. They can watch the class later on eresculturalcenter.org. Thank you. So I want to repeat this sentence again. In order to connect to the blessings, in order to bring peace, shalom, in order to bring harmony to my life, my family, my business, my community, is to recognize and overcome my negative behavior, my negative doing. And the Zohar call it my opponent. The Esav, the Satan, it has many names, the negative sides. When I learn how to, then first I have to recognize, and then when I learn to overcome it, all the gate of blessing for me opens. I may become a complete person, and then I can help others. Let's read from the Zohar that talks about this exact subject. We are in book number 5, page 230, section 4. Whoever doesn't have the Zohar is fine. I'm going to read it loud. These Hebrew letters, the Aramaic words, they are a vessel that connect us to the spiritual world. One more time, we are in book number 5, page 230, section 4. By reading the Zohar, it's going to help us. It's going to direct us. These words are a vessel to energies that are going to help us to recognize and overcome the opponent within us. Ati barnash le'et da'acha hahu yetzer hara et chapiya kamaya v'shalit yamina al smola v'tarvaya mizudavigin lenatra le'a lebarnash b'kol aruchei dahu avid hadahu dichtiv ki malacha v'yitzaveh lecha lishmorcha b'kol derachav. When man seeks to be purified, the evil inclination is humbled before him, and the right rules over the left, and both the good inclination and the evil inclination watch over man. Whichever way he travels, this is the essence of the verse. For he shall give his angels charge over you to keep you all your ways. The Kabbalists believe that this section of the Zohar is the most unique, powerful, and important part of the Zohar. It says when you decide to overcome what's negative in you, when what's good on you, what's good in between you, overcome what's negative within you, then both forces, they join together to help you out, to save you, to keep you safe. We learn that if my positive side take over the negative side, my positive going to protect me. The Zohar says, no, both of them going to protect you. Can you imagine if you have a huge ego, a negative ego, and then we become spiritual, we become smarter, we study, we learn how to be kind, how to be loving, how to be sharing. Actually, that ego is going to help me to serve humanity. You cannot become the president if you don't have an ego. You cannot become a leader of the family or a community if you don't have ego. The same thing with jealousy or maybe anger. When we have passion, those negative aspects turn, they switch to become a passion. So the Zohar says, when we overcome the negative behavior, the negative consciousness, both of them, both of our sides, both columns, going to help us and protect us. We're going to learn, we're going to explain more what does it mean. Let's talk about this business of sending angels. What does it mean that Yaakov sent angels to Esav? Yaakov is coming back, and Esav, he swears to kill Yaakov. He has 400 soldiers. He's riding to come and kill Yaakov. And Yaakov, with his own family, he's walking toward Israel, and he knows, he's going to run into Esav. So the Torah says the first thing he sends angels. What does it mean in our life, sending angels? We don't have access to angels. The Zohar explained that sending angels means in the level of our consciousness. You know, when there is a war, when two countries want to fight, a stupid general, sends the soldiers and go fight. But a smart general, he plans the war. He draws, he makes a plan. He designed the battlefield. He has a structure of how to attack or how to defend himself. So the Zohar says that Yaakov, by sending angels, means in his own consciousness, he planned the how you gonna deal with Esau, how you gonna face him, how you gonna deal with him. So in our life, tomorrow morning we are not going to a war, with a different country, but actually every day in our life as a student of Kabbalah is a war. Not war with the outside world, war with our own inside, within the negativity that we have inside ourselves. So, sending angels means the first thing you wake up in the morning, you are aware that Esav, this negative force, is waiting for you. He's waiting for you to get you, to attack you. And by planning my day, by planning my consciousness, by bringing this energy of I'm aware of this negative side, I know what's waiting for me. I'm going to plan my day. I'm not going to fall for anger. I'm not going to fall for jealousy. I'm not going to fall for Lashon Hara. That's why the Kabbalists, they design the morning prayer for us. It's all about conscious. Just reading the book doesn't mean much unless you're preparing yourself for a war that day. There's 1,000 issues going to face me, going to come to me. Am I prepared? Am I ready? Am I going to fall for that illusion? Am I going to fall for that lie that's going to come to me? Or I'm smarter than that. I'm aware of this negative side want to attack me. There is a beautiful concept in Kabbalah. They call it katnut gadlut, like being small and being big. So katnut is in a level of like a baby. We say babies, they don't know any better. Up to age 13, we don't expect much from our boys and 12 from the girls. Because it's all gimme, and they're all in a small-minded conscious. They are not spiritually developed. But as an adult, we expect the adult not to be, so reactive, not to be so selfish. So, in the morning, we have to inject this energy of gadlut. I'm spiritually advanced. I'm spiritually matured. I'm not going to fall for the upside downs in life. I'm not into the stories. I'm into the lessons behind it. On that day, we can lose something. We can get a scratch on our car. We can, somebody confront us. Yeah, that's life. We're going to go through thousands issues. But are we the small-minded baby that's going to fall and cry and get angry and upset over every little thing that's going to happen to my life? Or I'm received the spiritual maturity. I know I have certainty. I know the reason behind every issue. If I lost something, maybe it was not mine. If somebody asks me for blessing or tzedakah, maybe it's there to save my life. A scratch on the car maybe means, don't be so attached to the material world. So, Yaakov planned in his head, I'm going to face my brother. He says, I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to fight him. I'm not going to, put fire into the more fire. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to eliminate the hate. I'm going to eliminate the anger. I'm going to eliminate the controlling. I'm going to eliminate the ego. If you read the Torah, when Yaakov reached Esav, he bowed for him. He introduced his family. He says, "Everything is yours. Take it all. I'm fine." And then Esav responds, he says, "No, this is all yours. I don't want to touch it." So, if I'm approaching the day with everything with my life is complete, I don't have no lacks. I don't have no dark side. There's nothing wrong with my life. There's nothing bad. I'm not expecting anything. In a selfish way. If you approach a day that way, and like we said many times in the class, everything we own, we're just managing it. We don't own anything. Nothing is ours. Losing, not losing. So we want to start the day with the conscious, with sending angels that everything is fine, I'm perfect, I don't have no lacks, I'm not expecting anything from outside to make me feel better. And sending angels, in reality, it does work. We send good energy, we attract goodness. If we send bad energy, if we reflect bad energy, we attract negativity, darkness. So in reality, it is sending angels. By putting a good vibe, by putting a good frequency. Sometimes we think of somebody and that person calling us, or we say, "Oh, I was just thinking about you too." Why? That's sending angels. Sending angels is within our consciousness, within our mind. You love somebody, they feel your love. You hate somebody, they feel your hate. That means sending angels. Esav was going to come and kill Yaakov. What can he do? He sent him good angels. I love you, my brother. I don't want anything from you. Everything I have is yours. I'm your servant. No bad feelings, no grouches, no hate, no nothing. That's what he sent him. That was his first strategy how to deal with this war. The Kabbalists say something funny, we have some issue with some uncle for the past 10, 20, 30 years, we cannot solve it. But Esav and Jacob, in 10 minutes they solved the problem. He swore to kill him, but in 10 minutes he came and he kissed him instead. You don't want to learn this lesson from Yaakov? Somebody that want to kill him in a matter of overnight, he end up kissing him? It's an amazing lesson. How we can protect ourselves from all the negative inside and out. So the first lesson that Yaakov teaches us is have a good consciousness. It's to be shalem, to be complete, to be whole. Holy and whole sounds the same. With the W means whole. I'm complete. There is no lacks within me. There is no chisaron. By the way, we are in the month of light and miracles. In the month of Kislev, Chanukah, it's not by accident, it's by design. We're going to learn in the next few weeks, what lacks we have, what part of our consciousness is dark. And if we recognize it and if we overcome it, then in Chanukah, they're going to shine a light on it and it's going to stay forever. Chanukah is organuz, a concealed light. It meant for dark places. In the next 2-3 weeks, if I learn, if I recognize, if I overcome what's dark with me, who's this Esav with me, who's this negative energy within me, then Chanukah going to help us to have light in it for forever. So first, Yaakov sent these angels. What happened next in the story of the Torah? The story of the Torah is getting closer to Esav, and right before we get to Esav, he separates his wife and children and his camels and everybody, and the Torah says he passed them through the river, Ma'avar Yabok, and then Yaakov stay on his own, stay alone one night. And we know the famous story that angel of Esav came and he wrestled with him, and then he hurt his sciatic nerve. We talked about it in the past 2 years, 3 years. And like I said, this year, after the story, I realized in the end of the story, the Torah says, we're going to read in English. The Torah says that he was wrestling. Koshti gereftan b'farsi, he was wrestling with God. Let's read it. This is from the Torah, so you don't have to follow it. This is the Torah portion, Vayishlach, section 24. I'm going to read it in English. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with him. Then the man says, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." But Jacob replied, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." He asked him, "What is your name?" He says, "Jacob," he answered. Then he says, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have wrestled with God." So we have the name Israel, and then we have the word wrestling with God, Salita im Elohim. Let's first make it clear about God. You know, in English and Farsi, it doesn't make justification. You know, in English or Farsi, we just have one word for God, and this is it. That's all we have. But the wisdom of Kabbalah, that's so beautiful in Kabbalah, is teaching us the different aspect of God. Like he says, the 10 Sefirot is the building block of the universe, including the Creator. So the God that we know is not a one identity, it's not like one aspect, it has different aspects. And if you came to a few classes ago, Vayirav, when God introduced himself to Abraham, you guys mark it on your Zohar, all of you guys mark in the Zohar. God introduced himself with all his names, all the 10 names, Ehiyeh, and El Shaddai, and Adonai. It's in your Zohar, you guys marked it. According to 10 Sefirot, there is 10 names. So, like any cooperations, you know, we have presidents, we have 5 presidents, maybe we have different ministers of the company. The same thing with the Creator. the Creator has different aspects. One aspect of mercy and love, and then it has an aspect of the nature. Elohim, by the way, is the same numerical value of Teva, means nature. Whoever is governor of the rules of the nature, you know, we have gravity. If, God forbid, we go on a roof and we fell down, we cannot blame God for it, because that's the rules of the nature. There's a gravity. So, the Elohim aspect that Yaakov was wrestling with is not the whole, the God, the merciful God. He was wrestling with his own nature. So Elohim, one more time, is the aspect of the nature. If you remember when we study about what is our DNA made of, that where we were born, what is our zodiac sign, and who are our parents. That's our nature, that's our Elohim. Whatever country we were born, who our parents are, and what is my zodiac sign, that's my nature. There is nothing I can do about it, there's nothing I can change about it. That's the rule, that's the governor of that aspect of Elohim, the God that we got. So when it says that Jacob was wrestling with God, he was wrestling with his own nature. He was wrestling with his own teva, nature. To give you an example, when we have a certain behavior, it looks so real to us. God forbid, when we are angry at somebody, it looks so real for us. We believe in it with all our heart. So that's like our own God. That belief is so powerful that we believe it's coming from our own God, our own nature aspect. The reason that the Torah uses this language, wrestling with God, because honestly, it's very difficult to change your nature. It's very difficult to change your nature. You have to wrestle with it. You have to fight your own nature in order to change it. We come to these classes for many years. We always talk about anger and hate and judging. It sounds good here, but I know then tomorrow we all go back to our old behavior. So in order to honestly change ourselves, we have to wrestle with this powerful force within us. It's an illusion, it's a lie, but it's so true to us, it's like God-given, that negative energy within us. The Torah also says at the beginning that Jacob stay alone. He was alone, in Hebrew levado. The Zohar warned us. That's like few sections after what we read. He says Yaakov was alone at night time. The Zohar warned us never to be alone, never travel alone, never travel alone in darkness. It doesn't mean only in a literal way of it. Being alone means that I'm not improving. I don't have a quality control. Nobody's telling me what's wrong with me. Nobody's correcting me. When we are alone, we believe that whatever I believe, whatever I do is the right way, is the correct way. The best way to put it, when we are alone, I don't have no quality control. When we are talking to our teachers, our co-students, we are going back and forth, we are talking to our friends. So they find a way to tell us our wrong consciousness, wrong mind. When I'm alone, I believe whatever I do is correct. Whoever we hear all the time in the news that somebody, God forbid, do shooting or hurt somebody, they were alone. If they had a friend or they were discussing with somebody, they would obviously stop them from doing this evil act. For some reason, when we are alone for too long, this evil inclination within us take over. We start seeing everything with the negative eyes, with the evil eyes. And the Zohar also says, darkness means no light, no Torah, no Zohar, no Kabbalah. When we are traveling without this wisdom, when we are alone, with no help of these tools, we are in danger. If we constantly not aware, again recognize and overcome what's negative within us, then we are in total danger. So, and why the name Israel is so funny, I wrote it on the board because I want to show you a point. What does it mean? In the 10 Sefirot, we know that Abraham is Chesed, Yitzchak is Gevurah, Yaakov is Tiferet. When the angel says, you are not Yaakov, you are Israel, that means he raised him to the higher level, to the level of that. That's why that is not complete here, it's up to us. We are Yaakov, but we have a potential to raise ourselves to the level of Israel. What Israel means? Israel means no pain, no worriness, Shabbat forever, no more hate, no more anger, no more war, no more two poles, no more left or right, no more Democrat and Republican. Is a completeness, is wholeness. So the angel told him, since you wrestle all night and with your own God, with the God within you, with what your nature is, what you're made of, and you overcome your negativities, we're going to call you Israel. Do you see a similarity, any kind of a similarity between Sarita im Elohim and Israel? Do you see any similarity? What's the similarity, doctor?
You see the Shin and the Resh and the Aleph and the Lamed.
So Sarita means wrestling, right?
Right.
So we have Shin Resh Yud and we have Shin Resh Yud here. And Elohim means God. What's the short for Elohim? Is El. So Sarita im Elohim, if you make it short, is the word Israel. So in reality, the word Israel means wrestling with your nature, wrestling with your own God. What is your, I don't know if you, this concept, I don't know if you understand this concept, wrestling with your own God. You know, we have a certain belief that we don't want to break it. We are so stubborn about it. We are so rigid about it. If you steal from me, I hate you forever. If you don't love me, I don't like you. If you hurt me one time, I'm never going to call you again. That's like you're making your own God. You are making your own rules. This universe has a divine rule. You have to follow that divine rule, not our own rule. If you hurt me, I don't talk to you anymore. If you stole my money, I'm gonna hate you forever. If you have ego, I'm gonna stay away from you. We are making our own rules. We are making our own nature. We are making our own gods. By the way, one of the 10 commandments is don't make your own God. This is one of the reasons. So the word Israel means constantly wrestling with whatever negative it does. The voice that tells us to hate, the voice that tells us to be angry, the voice that tells us be separated, the voice that tells us, don't help, don't share. It's the language of the Torah and the Zohar is amazing because it tells you have to wrestle with your own God, because we know we have to do it individual. Nobody can recognize unless you do it on your own what lack we have, what's wrong with us, what's the negative aspect that we have. So if we want to, again, this is Katnut and Gadlut. If I fall for the stories, if I fall for the bouncing checks and the accident and the news and I lost something or I lost a friend or who are these people in my life? You're in the level of Yaakov, you're in the level of the baby. But if we want to be Israel, if we want to elevate ourselves to the next level, we have to be aware. I have to fight my nature. If somebody make me angry, I shouldn't react right away and be angry back. So Israel means paradise, means Mashiach, means is the end of the correction, end of the tikkun. But it's only by correcting ourselves. Our enemies is not outside, is not the Esav, is not the Hamas, is nobody outside. The enemy is within us. We have to wrestle with it. We have to recognize it and overcome it. Let's move to another story about this portion. The Zohar and the Kabbalists explain to us why we go through these challenges, why we have these difficulties. Why we don't recognize what's negative about us. And we don't want to overcome it. If we don't recognize this, if we think we are the best people in the world, nothing's wrong with me, whatever I do is the best solution. If my mind, my stubbornness, if my belief is the correct one, then we are totally blind. That's what the Kabbalists, they call it. He says all of us, we are blind in a certain degree. Because we don't see the negativity within us. It gives us few examples. We are blind because we have fears. We are blind because we have doubts. We are blind because we have uncertainty, jealousy. We are aggressive. We have lack of discipline. We blind, like our own children. I remember, we all have children. When they grow up, do your homework, study harder. No, leave me alone. I want to play my video game. So in a way, their spirituality, they are blind. They don't see what's good for them in life. That it's a waste of time if I spend all day, playing games. So in certain way, we are blind to our negative behavior. The Esav, the negative, the evil inclination tells us to be afraid, not to start a business, not to make a new friend, to have doubts, to be jealous, to control. This is all the negative inclination that telling us how to behave, how to act, and we are blind about it. So, first we have to remove these layers that don't let us to see, to recognize what's bad about us, and then we have to overcome it, and then help humanity, help others to remove this evil for good. So, this negative side within us play all different kind of games, play all different kind of illusions and lies, so we won't recognize it. By the way, where is it coming from? If you just read the Torah, when Jacob asked this angel, what's your name? He didn't say his name. He says, why you want to know my name? He doesn't want to expose himself. He's hiding within us. He doesn't want it to be recognized. He wants us that we stay in a stage of hating somebody for 10, 20, 30 years. This force wants us not to make the phone call, wants us not to be part of the community, to bring unity. So, this evil inclination, by putting layers over our eyes, we don't see the truth. I remember in last class we said, we have to demand to see the truth. We are not happy with these lies and with these stories and these illusions. I want to know the truth. Who are these people in my life? Why I go through these challenges? Why I'm here? Who are these people around me? So, but if we have these negative feelings toward everybody around us, we are blind to the blessings that are waiting for us by making a connection. The Kabbalists come up with 4 ways to see, to stop being blind over our negative aspects. What else Yaakov is trying to teach us before we get to that 4 aspects? The Kabbalists explain that we are locked into reactive emotion. That's something I explained a few minutes ago. We are locked into reactive emotions. Again, if you say the bad words to me, I'm going to react right away in a negative way. If I lose something, I'm going to react in a negative way. If there is a scratch in my car, I'm going to react in a negative way. If I have a hard day at work, I'm going to react I'm locked into reacting in a negative way. So the Kabbalists and the Zohar says, enough with this reactive, being locked into this reactive. Try to understand. If you have time, I'm going to share with you an amazing story that happened today. So, by being locked into the same reaction, we are feeding this evil inclination within us. Give a chance. Don't react in the same way. And blaming the government, blaming people, blaming the weather, it's all illusion. We want to know, we have the right to know the story behind everything that happened to us. So the first tool that the Kabbalists teach us to stop being blind to our negativities is busy. Is busy. We are so busy all the time. We are so busy, we don't have time to deal with our issues. We have some challenges, maybe with friends, with some family, but we are so busy all the time that we don't have the time. We don't take a break. We don't pause to see, am I locked into that negative reactive emotions? Am I continue blaming the same people? So one of the gifts that we have is Shabbat. What is Shabbat? We take a break. We pause. We take a break from everything we do. And we reflect on our own life. Where are we standing? Where is the dark places within my consciousness, within my life, in my relationships that I can fix? If I'm constantly busy, we don't have time to deal with ourselves. So during the day, like we said before the class, in the morning, before you go to this jungle, you pause. You say, you know what? I am busy, but I'm never too busy to reflect on myself. See, whatever I'm doing, is it right? Am I using enough sharing and love and kindness and peaceful and balance and joy and happiness? Or is like from one reactive emotion to another reactive emotion? So take a pause from being busy all the time and reflect within your life. The second tool that the Kabbalists give us I mentioned already, is reactive emotion and blaming and judging and being angry and being attached to the outside. So, what does it mean to wrestle with your own God? Wrestle with your own natural reactive behavior. If you're reacting in a certain way for the past 10, 20 years, give yourself a chance. Stop reacting the same way. We all hear bad news, we all hear things that happen within our family, friends, or community. Don't react the same way that you reacted last time, and see if you can see the blessing. Then number 3 is ego. So many times we spoke about ego. I'm full of myself. There is nobody better than me. There's no one can teach me anything. I'm above everybody else. I know the right way. I know the right behavior. We always talk about being humble. A humble person receive. Look at Jacob. Jacob he had the power to fight Esau, but he was humble about it. He sent them gifts, he prayed for him, sent them angels. And look at the blessing he received. No fight. He won his brother back again. So if I'm full of myself, we are losing it. Always open to other ideas, always open to being humble. And number 4, it says repetitive issues. If the same issue, the same family member, the same bad experiences, the same bad relationships I have, it tells us that something is wrong within us. it's nothing's wrong with the world. It's if the same repetitive thing happened to us, the same health issue, the same relationship challenges, the same business challenges, is I need to look into myself, recognize and overcome what is negative about me that attracting the same negative, repetitive situations. One of the beauty of knowing Kabbalah and Hebrew, the word Yaakov means the Yud stands for Ichud, means unity. Again, I'm reminding everybody, Yaakov came to teach us how we can bring these two opposites together. Within ourselves and within our family, within our community and government and the whole world. How we are supposed to behave to be the central column, to be balanced in life, to elevate ourselves to Israel and the spiritual world. Number one is Yichud. Number two is Anava, means humbleness. If you read the stories of the Torah, Yaakov is all about Anava. And Kuf stands for Kedusha. Kedusha in Kabbalah language means wisdom, Chokhmah, studying. Studying and learning Torah and Kabbalah. And Bet is Beracha. So, if I want to reach the blessings in my life, I have to go through the unity, humbleness, and the Kedusha, which means wisdom, in order to receive the blessing in life. This is the formula to bring the unity, to bring these two opposite forces together. We have this huge fear. We are afraid to look into ourselves. We don't want anybody to tell us what's wrong with us. We have this fear. Who you think is telling us to have this fear? Why we have the fear to start a new business? Why we have the fear to start a new relationship? Who's telling us this, be afraid? This fear is coming from the evil inclination. He doesn't want us to recognize it. This fear is telling us, don't make the phone call, don't get close, don't be friendly, don't love each other. Don't practice unity. Don't practice humility, because then his hand is going to be exposed. I know we cover a lot of information, and we are within the 2 minutes. Before we're going to shut down the camera, I want to share one word in Hebrew, and then we're going to translate it in English, that help us to recognize and overcome what's negative about us. I asked you to mark it in a Zohar earlier, but the word in Hebrew, I can write it down and share it with you guys after the class, is Gal einai ve'abita niflaot mitoratecha. Unveil my eyes, and I shall see wonders from your Torah. And as in the Zohar it says, open my eyes, so that I will see wonders from your Torah. When it says, open my eyes, is I want to see again the evil inclination and its negative characters. The hate, the fear, the anger, the controlling, the ego, the anger within me. I want to see it. I want to recognize it. The only way for me to overcome it is to recognize it. And for me to recognize it, I have to wrestle with myself, wrestle with my nature that has come to me so naturally. It's naturally for me to hate. It's naturally for me to anger. It's naturally for me to separate. We have to wrestle with it. We have to fight it. Open my eyes so I can see it, recognize it first. So God willing, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to open our eyes. We're going to dig within ourselves. We want to recognize what's the negative aspect within us. overcome it, fight it, and become Israel. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. See you on Shabbat.